The word Jew first appears in the Bible in 2 Kings 16:6, where it is used to refer to people from the kingdom of Judah. The kings of Judah at that time completely abandoned the worship of God. Instead, they set up altars and sacrificed children to Baal. The word Jew then appears in later books of the Hebrew Bible to describe people from the kingdom of Judah, such as the devout Esther and Daniel. The biblical definition of a Jew is someone from the kingdom of Judah, whether they follow God's commandments or not. However, in the 9th century, the head of the Talmudic Academy in Babylon defined a Jew as only those who followed Judaism. In 1935, the German government defined a Jew as anyone who had Jewish grandparents, whether or not they practiced Judaism. The State of Israel used a similar definition in 1950 and amended it in 1970 to include anyone with a Jewish relative in order to maintain and increase the flow of illegal settlers into Palestine from the former Soviet Union. According to the Bible, Abraham was chosen by God to be the father of a great nation. He had a grandson named Jacob, who was later renamed Israel, and became the father of the 12 tribes of Israel. One of these was the tribe of Judah, who settled in the southern part of Canaan and were part of the kingdom of Israel under the reigns of Saul, David, and Solomon. All of Jacob's descendants were called Israelites until the death of Solomon, when the kingdom split into two. The northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by the Assyrian Empire, and its people became known as the Lost Tribes of Israel, and the southern kingdom of Judah became a vassal state of Assyria, then Egypt, and later Babylon. The king of Babylon destroyed Jerusalem, and the Jews were exiled to Babylon, but they retained their identity and traditions as described in the books of Daniel and Esther. After Persia conquered Babylon, the Jews were allowed to return to Judah. The temple was rebuilt, and Jerusalem was re-established as the center of Jewish life. Later, the Greeks and Romans ruled over Judah, which became known as Judea. The Roman army destroyed Jerusalem and the Second Temple in 70 AD. Josephus, a Jewish historian of the time, estimated that over 1 million Jews died in the massacre. Thousands more were captured and sold into slavery. Despite the destruction, Jewish resistance continued, but was crushed by the Romans. Jews were banned from Jerusalem, which was renamed Aelia Capitolina, and Judea forever ceased to exist as a country after the Roman province of Judea was renamed Syria Palestina. The word Judaism does not appear in the Bible. There was not even a word for it in the Hebrew language 2,000 years ago. The earliest known use of it is in Greek, at a time when the culture and religion of the kingdom of Judah was being Hellenized, as described in the book of Maccabees. After the destruction of the temple and the end of Judea as a country, the religion of the Jews was dominated by the Pharisees, a sect obsessed with creating new laws based on their interpretations of the Bible. They later became what we know today as Rabbinic Jews. Onkelos was one of the earliest influences on Rabbinic Judaism. He was a Roman, related to the Roman Emperor Hadrian, who converted to Judaism and translated the Torah into Aramaic, the lingua franca of the Jewish people in the 1st and 2nd centuries. His translation was widely accepted and, despite its obvious anachronisms, is still studied and referred to today. In the 3rd century, the Mishnah, a collection of rules created by the Pharisees, was published. As time went on, more and more rules were added until the Talmud was published in the 6th century. It is in the Talmud that we find the rule that Jewish identity comes from the mother being Jewish. The ever-evolving Jewish identity can be seen in the practice of Eastern European men covering their heads with a kippah after the Shulchan Aruch was written in Syria, published in Venice, and adapted to Ashkenazi customs in Krakow in the 16th century. Many words in the English language have undergone a semantic shift. Gay has changed from meaning happy to meaning homosexual. Armageddon has changed from a place in Israel to the end of the world. The meaning of the word Jew has also changed from its original meaning of someone from the kingdom of Judah over 2,000 years ago to whatever the state of Israel chooses to define it as today.